Hey everybody, what do you say? JJ59 here again. And yeah, what is this today? July 31st. And it's been a while since I made a video. And yeah, it's a busy week for a lot of us, right? A lot of us are over at the National and having a great time, you know, looking at all the cards, buying some new cards, and a lot of great videos coming out. And I don't know if really maybe this video will get too many views, but because it's just a busy time. But I just felt like making one. And what I thought I'd talk about a little bit today is well, I okay. I think it's important to have some cards, that are just, basic, just cards. They're not in pristine condition. They may have wrinkles. They might be slightly faded, creases, writing, soft corners, snow, print dots, whatever. And just, keep them around as cards and handle them and, you know, and just to have them around, I think that's really important. Cards are a tactile thing, really. And I think something gets lost when we, the obvious direction or the emphasis today is so much about condition, how pristine the card is, how centered the card is, the registration, and things like that. And those things are important to me, because I have cards that I want to have in good condition if I'm collecting a set, putting it into a binder or, if I keep it in a box. I really don't display cards. I don't display cards on my wall, but those cards, I want to have in good shape. And then there are, the double. I also keep boxes of doubles that are in good shape. Like if I ever wanted to trade some or give them away or that kind of thing. I'd want them to be in good shape. But I keep some other cards, like the ones you're looking at here. They're, not going to be, these cards actually are in my to get pile. You know what I mean? I want to get better copies of the cards from my official collection, I guess. But then I'm going to keep these as well because I just like going through them and looking at them. And yeah, I just think that's important. I mean, I think sometimes we get a little too, the emphasis today is, again, on condition, getting a card in a certain grade. I myself am not a grader, as most of you know, if you follow my channel. And, I like, my problem with grading is I want to, I want the card to remain a card. I like to put them in top loaders and yeah, I want to protect the cards, but I want them to remain as close as possible to their original card form. So I don't even put my cards or keep them in card savers. I like to put them in top loaders, the ones that I really want to protect. But as you can see, these cards are weathered, and I just love having them around. I think they're just as important to have as, my other cards, right? And so I'm just going through a few here. Yeah. Yeah, slabs to me, again, most of my card collecting friends really do like graded cards, and I respect them, and I respect decision to get their cards graded and keep them that way. For me, it's like, I feel like I'm handling a brick instead of a card. But, I can dig it. Some people really like the presentation of a graded card, right? And that was a bit of a revelation to me. I was talking to somebody a while back, and he felt like putting it into the slab, like put the finishing touches on the card. This card, I got to get another one of it's completely trimmed. So yeah, these are just some cards. I'm never gonna put them. I'm not even gonna put them in penny sleeves. Yeah, So these are some to get cards. Like I'll show you quickly real here. These cards I already have other copies of, and so all my to get cards will eventually join these cards, which are just my to enjoy cards as they are cards. Oh, Gino Simoli, Jim Rowland. I love that. Cardinals celebrate. And some 57s and things like that. Yeah, so I wanted to touch on that. Going through these real quick. Yeah, these are all cards I do have other copies of. Like I said, I do have doubles that are in good shape. They're not wrinkled or creased or anything like that. And these I just, again, like to handle, without any, penny sleeves or anything else. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, it's got some on the back. No, whoops, 2 cards. Pedro Ramos. Let's see. Yeah, I think there's a here. That's 68 Pirates. Bill Freehand. Yeah, so. And then I just wanted to show a couple cards that I showed probably, in another video, one of my first videos. These were cards that I had as a kid, and they're so important to me. And I know these were cards that I had as a kid. I gave a lot of my cards away at one point to a friend who was very nice and returned, as much as we could. He integrated some of the cards with his collection, but, I got a good deal of them back. And I remember, my dad made a desk for me and my sister, and they were corner desks, and we used to do our homework there and stuff like that. And, I had a record player and used to listen to music, I did my homework and stuff like that. And on the wall, I taped certain cards. And in 1969, I knew that Hank Bauer had been a Yankee. I knew a good deal of Yankee history. I was 10 years old at the time. And I taped, as you can see, the Scotch tape. I taped a bunch of cards on my wall, I don't want to show that one yet. Which one? Yeah, I remember this one was up. You can see the tape at the top, 1959 New York Yankees team. And I remember having this one up. Danny McClain. This was a year after he had won the 31 games. And now, other cards that I really treasure. I remember putting this up, the 60 Mantle, on my door. Taped it, and when I took the card down and took the tape off, this is what happened. And I did the same thing with my 1960 Bobby Shantz. And this card, I know this is a card that I actually got in 1964. You can see the little crayon mark here on Orlando Cepeda's face. Yeah, I remember that. And then this card, I showed this one. You can see in the corner some teeth marks. I was kidding around with my cat Taffy, and I sort of fed him the card, was playing with him, and he was biting it and tugging at it. Taffy, we got him in 1969, and he stayed with us through, well, actually 1968, and he stayed with us until 1979. So Taffy's teeth marks. And the last thing I'm going to show, these two cards, these mean so much to me. I remember having all these decals, right? And I'm saying, oh, what should I do with them? Well, let me put them on some cards, And there are what? 1, 2, 3. Okay, that's 7, 9, 12. So, you got 12 decals, so that's 12 packs of cards I bought. Willie Mays. And, down here I signed my name. Down here it's covered partially by the Willie Mays card. And I remember that's how I signed my name back in 1969. My last name begins with A, and I used to write the A like that, instead of a cursive writing A. And, so I love these cards, It's kind of funny to me, like when I see somebody, and I'm not at all putting anybody down for this, but like when they get a slab of, let's say, a 1960s card, 69, or it could be a 68, a 67. These were cards that I did collect, just going to the store and getting packs. It's like funny to me, like when they have it in a slab and, it's got a number and it's, somebody who was born after 1969, like their relationship to the cards is going to be a little bit different. It's like in a certain sense, maybe, more historical than, they are historical, but, they didn't live during the time when these cards came out. And, I don't know if I'm doing a good job of describing it. Like, I remember the famous pianist Arthur Rubinstein, talking about Brahms. And, Brahms was alive when Rubinstein was a young man. And, he was, just a living composer. He hadn't yet become Brahms, this almost a godlike figure in the classical world. And, so his, kind of relationship to him was a little bit different. And, that's kind of what I'm trying to describe with, these cards. When I see cards from the 60s or the 70s, treated as like, old historical artifacts, I totally dig it, but, my relationship to them is different because, I collected them at the time. But at any rate, so that's what I wanted to share with you today. I hope everybody's having a great time at the National, and I'll be looking forward to seeing some more of your videos. And so everybody take care, and we'll talk soon. Bye-bye.